Hello everyone, welcome to Australia. Welcome to Australian Book Travels and to this week's book recommendations and chat. And welcome to the heat. It is so hot. Today is Sunday the 2nd of February, so I am filming this for you today, uploading it for you on Monday. So you will be seeing this Monday, so happy Monday. Have a good week everyone, and I hope you've already had a good week. But yes, it is hot. And it has been hot now for quite some time. I think we had a cool day of, I think it was 29 degrees the other day, which was a bit of a relief, but it has been very, very high 30s consistently. In fact, I was doing some editing last night. It was about 11 o'clock, I think, and it was 31 degrees at 11 o'clock at night. So it has been hot. Nevertheless, yes, I hope you've had a good week, and I hope you've had a great start to the new year. It's all very exciting. New year, new challenges, new dreams. It's just wonderful. Okay, I hope you all have a cup of tea or a lovely beverage of some sort. I have a rose tea. Rose, I decided just to show you the rose tea there. I bought it from this particular rose tea. I bought just the rose petals and rose buds from a shop in Berrima in New South Wales that I showed on the channel. It must have been 2 weeks ago now. So if you're interested in looking at that, that was approximately 2 weeks ago. But usually I have rosebud tea or rose water as a drink. It's refreshing, it's really good for your digestive system, it's great for your skin. I use it topically as well as a toner, just pure rose water, cold, and I use it as a toner. I also rinse my hair in it. Just half a cup, just once I've finished washing my hair, I just throw a cup of, or half a cup of rose water just through it, just to give it a little bit of a shine and a boost, and it just helps keep it healthy. But yes, rose tea or rose water warmed up is very good for you. It's good for your digestive system, good for your skin and your hair. So that's just a little tip. But yes, I have that today, so it's warm, but it'll probably be cold by the time I drink it. Okay, let's get into it. Now, last week I showed you a new novel. Oh, well, it's not new. It's new to us, but it was, sorry everyone. I think this was published in 2023 from memory, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2023. This was Jimmy Sharman's Boxes by Stephen McGrath. I made a few claims on there last week about this book. Since then, in answer to those queries and claims, since then Stephen McGrath has watched that episode and he was very happy with the review and the recommendation that we did last week. In fact, I think he said it was the best he's had so far, and the most understanding of the novel, which was lovely. That was nice to know. Thank you, Stephen. He watched and then he emailed me and answered the queries that I had, which was, yes, you can buy it from any independent bookstore or bookshop or online. And yes, it was written deliberately in that beige prose. Stephen felt that it was the best way to write it. Otherwise it would have been too long, too dry, which is what we said last week. So that was good. He was very happy that I understood that and that I relayed that to you. So that's good. So I just wanted to let you know that, yes, it is more. It is more than just about the boxing. It is about the history as well. So a good one to read. I just want to remind you all to the book, little book competition. If you want to win this, it's absolutely brand new, never been read. I bought it accidentally I had already bought a copy and read it, and then this came along. I think I ordered it 6 months prior. And Abby's bookshop had to order it in for me, and I'd forgotten all about it and bought another copy somewhere else and read it. So, and of course, Tea Leaves and Reads in the UK, the little bookshop in the UK, absolutely beautiful, brilliant. If you can, get onto their website and subscribe to their newsletter. I just received February's newsletter. Absolutely beautiful. They do a wonderful job on their newsletters. It is so personal. It is just beautiful. The layout of it is lovely, even though it's online. The layout, or they email it to you. The layout of it is beautiful, and the content is brilliant too. And they have a little competition in there as well, or each month. So they gave us extra bookmark. So that is for you free, the whole lot. I will even pay post. But what you must do is share with friends and family, share the channel with friends and family, like, comment, and then email me on ostbooktravels@yahoo.com. Let me know that that's what you've done so that I can check it. And then your name will go into a hat to be drawn next Monday. So that's, what's that, the 15th, I think? We'll draw your name out of a hat, hopefully, someone's name anyway. And you will get this absolutely free. We will even pay post. But you must, and you can enter as many times as you like. So long as you're sharing the channel with different people, and you're liking and making different comments, you can enter as many times as you like. So I just wanted to remind you about that. I'll leave the information in the description box below too. Okay, the books this week. I've just found another pair of spectacles, everyone. It was sitting on the books. Anyway, this week I've left a bookmark in there. That was Tea Leaves and Reads. I just wanted to let you all know. They sent me many bookmarks, so I left the bookmark in there. I shouldn't have done that really, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, this was sent to me by Echo Publishing. In fact, we now have 3 publishing houses who send us books, which is fantastic. We have Fremantle Press, HarperCollins Australia, and Echo Publishing. Echo Publishing sent this. Now, this was published originally in 2023, I believe. 2023, but this edition is this year. It's 2025. This is the smaller, I think they call it the B grade or B book or something. It's the smaller version of the larger, this sort of size. That comes out first in Australia in the paperback, and then a year or so later, the small ones are published. And I haven't read this, but they sent this to me. I was interested. They gave me a list. Echo Publishing gave me a list, and I've ticked off all the ones that I want, and they're sending them to me as they are published and just before they're released. So I haven't read this one before. I have, of course, read it now. This is James Dunbar Mole Creek. It is set in primarily between Tasmania, Mole Creek in Tasmania, and Vietnam. Before I go on, everyone, I have to let you know, because it is so hot in here and I'm perspiring profusely, I have the ceiling fan on, so you may be able to hear it in the audio, and I do apologise, but there is no way I can sit here without the fan going. So yeah, I can just hear it myself, so I'm hoping that the audio doesn't pick it up too much. Anyway, James Dunbar Mole Creek. So it's primarily set between the Vietnam War, that Australia and America and New Zealand and I think France was involved in as well. Or they sent troops anyway. And it's also set in the northern part of Tasmania, so near Launceston. Mole Creek is near Launceston, and in that northern region. So it was interesting to me because lived in Tasmania for approximately 7 years. So these places mentioned in here are very familiar. Contemporary, by the way, contemporary Tasmania. So today, set in today's world, but obviously we go back to the Vietnam War. We have Xander is the main character. He is a journalist. His grandfather was in the Vietnam War. He dies, whether by suicide or he has been killed, we're not too sure. We begin where we actually begin in the grandfather, Peter, his place in Mole Creek, and it sets off events from there. This is really good. It's plotted really well. We go back to Vietnam. It's very interesting. It's not too look, I'm not a war freak at all. I don't get into the war. I understand the history, and I'm interested in the history and the outcomes of war and the reasons for war, but I'm not interested in the logistics and the military operations and things. But this makes it interesting. It's not too dry. It's not too in-depth. It's more really about how Peter is involved in something in Vietnam that may or may not affect or have been a catalyst for what has happened. So it's a murder mystery. But now, one thing I will say to you all, there are a few choice swear words in here. I'm not a fan of swearing in books, as you all know. Those of you who have been watching the channel for a while, I'm not a big fan. However, I understand that there's a time and place, and this is, although we have in today's, with Xander and the people he's dealing with in today's story, there is a bit of swearing. But when we go back to Vietnam, you understand it even more. I mean, they're in the midst of war, and there's frustration and anger and you know, the testosterone running around. So there are a few choice words in here. So I just want to warn you, if you are not interested in reading anything like that, then do be careful when, you know, if you are interested in the story. I think really the plot overrides that for me a little bit, even though I wasn't too happy about the swearing. I understood it, and I understood why it was in here, or why it is in here, and it really did help to some extent set the scene, particularly in Vietnam. So yeah, just do be careful about that. But other than that, it is great plot, really good characters. Some of them are really good. Really very interesting. So yes, I recommend this. James Dunbar, Mole Creek, Echo Publishing, 2023, but this smaller version is 2025. Really, really good. It's a page turner. It'll really get you interested, involved. So that's that one. Oh dear. Okay. This next one is touted as a children's book. Well, certainly I have seen it in the children's section of bookshops, and I bought it from a children's section in bookshops. So, although I haven't seen anything in here that really tells me it's a children's book, this is so much more, and adults need to read this. This is The Whale's Last Song by Joanne Fedler. This is Australian. Or is she New Zealander? No, maybe she's Australian, I think. I'll let you know in the subtitles. I think she may have been New Zealander. But anyway, this is published by Fourth Estate, HarperCollins. And I think it was either 2023 or 2024. Let me have a look. I'll get that information for you. I should have it. I'm just trying to see if she's also 2024. Yes, I was right. Yeah. And it's a fable. It's an old-fashioned fable. It's original, but it's in the style of an old-fashioned fable, and it encompasses so much. It encompasses friendship and loss, but it's so much more. It's we have a story. We have a young girl who she's looking for a resolution or a cure for her older sister who is unwell. But in amongst all of this it's about the environment and about nature, and there is a whale who is dying. And so he is singing his last song, or the whale is singing its last song. The way it is written, I'm a little bit flummoxed for words on this one, because it was so touching and so beautiful and so dynamic that there's so much to say about it, but it's difficult to put it into words because it is so beautiful. You really have to experience it for yourself. The way Joanne Fedler has written this is incredible. It is beautifully, beautifully written. And in fact, in the very beginning, I read this last week, so do forgive me, I've read a few books since then. But in the very beginning, she tells you how the story begins, and that there was a time when the forests and the mountains and the sloping woods belonged to no human. The world was a pulsing heart, and each small thing knew its place in this grand scheme, without which the whole machine of it would stop, and all that lived would die. And so it goes on. It is so beautifully written. It's extraordinary. It's exemplary. That's what it is. Her writing is just stunning. It's beautifully written, and the tale, this fable is, as I say, it encompasses the way humans interact with nature and the damage that it's subtly said, but the way humans have damaged, and that there's no need to damage, that we could live in harmony, but that everything needs to live in harmony, and not one thing dominate another, that nature was doing quite well on its own with the ability to ebb and flow with seasons and with population of animals and the growth of vegetation. It's just beautiful. It is so much fun. Now, this is hardcover, which I absolutely loved, and the cover is stunning. It really is beautiful. There are no illustrations through this. It is just there are little tiny little bits and bobs. Nothing. There's tiny little things, but they're not really substantial. This was just, please do yourself a favour, even though it was purchased from the children's section, and it is, I think, touted as a children's book. It isn't. It is for adults. It is so important for all of us to read this and appreciate it and respect it. It's just, the writing is exemplary. It's just beautiful. The world that we find ourselves in is beautiful. Do yourself a favour. It's absolutely stunning. That's The Whale's Last Song. This is the sort of book that you would read each year. You'd get it out if you're feeling a little bit down, or there's a particular season or time in life that you just feel like you want to snuggle down and read just a beautiful, beautiful tale, a fable. This is it. So I recommend that. That's The Whale's Last Song by Joanne Fedler. Absolutely stunning. Took my breath away. Now, I actually won this book in a competition. And I spoke to the author. The author sent it to me, and I asked if that was okay if because it was a prize, whether I could read it and then review and recommend it, and she was happy with that. This is The Godfather of Dance, a Jade Riley mystery by Andrea Barton. I just wanted to get that right. I thought I was saying that incorrectly. This is really good. This is a mystery, murder mystery. We have, right at the very beginning, we have Anton and his fiancée in a dance studio at night. The blinds are up and they can see the lights of traffic and things whizzing by and approaching the studio. They are dancing. They are dancers. They are dancing, and next thing they have a set of car lights shining through their dance studio window. There's a volley of gunshots, and Anton's fiancée is killed. And the car drives off. We then jump to 2 years ahead, and we become involved with the main protagonist, really, our Jade Riley, who is a journalist. And so the story goes. You know, I don't like to tell you too much about these stories. I'm very careful because I really want you to discover these stories yourself. What I can say is that this is well written. It's a good story, good plot, and it's a page turner. It really is. You want to know. I didn't stop reading it. I kept going and going until I finished it, and it was late at night when I finished it. I can promise you, it was an all-nighter, that one. But this is really good. Now, from what I understand, I haven't read Andrea's books before. She is Australian, by the way. I haven't read any of her books before, but I understand that the Jade Riley it's a series, or it's a series insofar as they're standalones, but it's a series involving Jade Riley, who's a journalist, but she investigates. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. Now, this is, let me see, this is by Wingsy Press, and it was, is it this year or last year? Maybe it was last year. Hang on, everyone. I'll just get it for you. 2024, so that was last year, and was published in the United States of America. And I haven't told you how many pages all of these are. Sorry, everyone, I'm busy flicking. That was just a noise. I don't know what that was all about. I'm not too sure. Sorry, everyone. Now, how many pages is this? Without the acknowledgements and everything, it's 309. I recommend it. If you're into murder mysteries, into a bit of intrigue, there's a bit of mafia, there's dance, there's the processes of and the professional dancing. Not too much. I love dancing, but I'm not into watching any professional dancers or anything like that. I just don't do that. I love dancing myself, bit of a jig, but this doesn't make it too boring or too dry. It's interesting. It's the threads of mafia and the dancing just weave through the story. So it's enough to make you interested, but not too much to make it boring for those of you who are not necessarily, like me, overly interested in the procedures and processes of dancing, or indeed of the mafia. But it's great. I really enjoyed this. It will make me look at more of Andrea Barton's work. So it was well written, really well written. So that's her. Now, I'll just let you know, sorry everyone, the Whale song was around about 280, I think. 272. No. That was actually with the acknowledgements. So 265. And that is with Joanne gives you words that she's involved in the story, but that she's learnt herself, and subsequently she's learnt the definitions of, but she's subsequently put them in the story. There's also Spanish terms throughout the book, and she gives you the terminology for that. or the interpretation of that. And she has here author's notes as well. So the real story is 250 pages, and of course there's a whale at the end. Absolutely beautiful, you won't be disappointed. And Mole Creek, I've just recently finished that, and that was about hang on everyone. Yeah, 369. That was $3.69. Really well worth it. Absolutely beautiful. You won't be disappointed. I recommend this one. I think you need to buy it, and it's one that will stay on your shelves. It's a classic. It will stay on your shelf. You will reread that one, the Whale's Last Song. Absolutely beautiful. Godfather of Dance. And then two I just wanted to mention here that I've had for an awfully long time, and I use occasionally for various things. This is, you will all have heard of the cook Tessa Quiros. She is, I think she was born in London. She grew up in different places around the world. I think she grew up mainly in South Africa, actually. But her father, I think, is Danish and her mother is Greek, from memory. I could be wrong, but something like that anyway. So she's quite an international individual. And then on top of that, she's a wonderful cook. She's a food writer as well, and a travel writer, I think. Now, this is my favourite of hers, is limoncello and linen water. This is a recipe book, but it has absolutely beautiful photos of her family from the past and the present. And we have some lovely, I don't know if you can see that, but some beautiful photography, even particularly with the food. Absolutely beautiful. There are little stories and quips and things. There's a dressing table there of her, presumably of her grandmothers, or meant to be her grandmothers, because she speaks about her nonna there. It's absolutely beautiful. They're the end papers of this. And then when you take the cover off, it's the same with the protective cover. And a beautiful velvet place. Hang on, let me just show you. Place ribbon. Beautiful velvet, pink velvet place ribbon. Absolutely beautiful. The more importantly, or just as important, I think, we have beautiful, beautiful recipes. Everything from jams to linen water to limoncello, ice cream, biscuits, mainly with a Greek or an Italian spin on it. Absolutely beautiful. This is one of my favorites. I do try to look after this a lot more than my other recipe books. Not that I don't look after my recipe books, but they do tend to have flour and crumbs and things in them, because of course if I'm using them, I do have a stand actually, but for some reason, I stand the recipe book on the stand whilst I'm baking or cooking, but for some reason I still get crumbs and fingerprints all over them. But still, that is a cookbook that is well loved and well used. But this one, not because it's more, but because it has these beautiful little anecdotes and the stories about her family and how, her grandmother who has bottled herbed oils or limoncello or had various adventures in their lives. I tend to look after it a little bit more. It just deserves that. I think that the book is absolutely beautiful. Now this, I think, was about 2012 from memory. It is an older one, but it is still available. Tessa Quiros's books are still, all of them. She's written quite a few. I think she's probably, from recollection, she's written about 10. It wouldn't, I don't, or certainly no less than 10, I think. But sorry, I'm just trying to think. But yeah, look, it doesn't, I can't get it from here. I think it was about 2012. And then another one of hers, which I really love, and I think it was the first one I bought, it would have been the early 2000, maybe 2000 and, well, let me have a look. I can't really quickly find this for you in these recipe books. I think sometimes they hide it, but, oh no, here we go. Published in 2010, this one, in Australia. So I think it was actually published worldwide earlier than that. But this is Apples for Jam by Tessa. It's absolutely beautiful. It has multiple recipes, baked cinnamon apples with buttermilk ice cream. She has beautiful photos of her family. And there are little drawings from her children. And she has here, there's a memory that she's written there. There's semolina puddings, very thin chips, sauteed cauliflower. It's absolutely beautiful. Making me hungry because if any of you watched last week's episode, I am actually on a particular diet for my throat. And so I'm basically on raw and or boiled vegetables and salad. No tea, no coffee, no alcohol, no fizzy drinks. Not that I'm a fizzy drinker anyway, but no mineral water or soda water or anything like that. It's just plain water, herbal tea, and boiled or poached vegetables and salad. Oh, and I can have some fruit. I can't have citrus and all that. So I'm hungry. I don't know. Maybe I'm not really missing it that much. I'm certainly, it's a much healthier diet. But no preservatives, no condiments at all. So I can't have any sauces or dressings or anything. I can't have butter. I can't have olive oil. I can't have milk. No, that's the other thing. I can't have dairy. So yes, it's quite a bland diet, but it's healthy. It's healthy. Anyway, so looking through these, this morning I decided to show these because I do really love Tessa's work. And I love her presentation and the cookbooks are a good size too. You know, they're a lovely, you could take them if you need to go somewhere to cook. They're a good size. They're not cumbersome, although they are quite thick and they're heavy. They're really heavy, but the presentation is absolutely beautiful. She just has, you know, little paintings of from her children. And then there are some beautiful photos and things. They're just beautiful. And the recipes are brilliant to boot and true to how they are. They cook true to how they are in the recipe. It's beautiful. They're really, really lovely books. I'm sure many of you know about Tessa Quiros, but if you don't, definitely get yourself a copy if you want to cook something or bake something beautiful and a little different. She has, I think actually in here she does, from memory, I think she does talk about rose water in here, maybe not. But yeah, so they're just an all-round beautiful international sort of cookbook. So they're lovely. I recommend them. They're top quality. So that's that. Okay, everyone, I'll just go through these again for you. The Godfather of Dance, a Jade Riley mystery by Andrea Barton. I enjoyed it. Really is good. Australian. The Whale's Last Song by Joanne Fedler. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And you need to read it. Everyone needs to read this. It is gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. James Dunbar, Mole Creek. Fantastic. Do mind the swearing. There are a few choice words, as I say. I need to let you know that because I know some of you are not inclined to appreciate a lot of swearing, but this is in keeping with what the story is all about. So I just overlooked that and moved on. The story is great though. It's really intriguing and a page turner. Don't forget our book competition for the Crewe Train and a bookmark, and the questions from last week about Jimmy Sharman's boxes by Stephen McGrath were answered. So that's that, everyone. I can take these off now. I hope you're all well. I hope you're looking forward to a great week. We are really desperate for rain, truly desperate. Everything is dry. We are losing a few trees and a few plants. We just can't keep the water up to them. It's impossible. It is not sustainable. So yeah, it's a bit of a struggle at the moment. But anyway, I'm hoping to get you upload a sneaky midweeker this week. And of course, if I don't see you then, if you're not interested in that, then I will hopefully see you for the travel video. And if not for that, I will see you next Monday for the next book recommendation. So have a wonderful week, everyone. Stay safe, stay cool, stay warm if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, stay cool if you're here in Australia, and if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Good reading, happy reading. Safe travels wherever you go around the place, whether it's international or interstate or just intrastate. And take care. Enjoy the week. See you next video. Bye for now. If you have enjoyed this or any other video on the channel, please do consider subscribing, liking, commenting and sharing. Thank you.